Welcome along, fellow time travelers. This is Scott Cardinal. Well, the Johnny Depp trial is almost over. I think we got another week or so. So once that is over, a lot of the interest in him will probably start to dissipate and we'll get on to other subjects. But for now, this is what people are interested in and it is what people ask me about. So in this micro lesson, we're going to travel to Los Angeles and we're going to check out one of the many ways that Johnny Depp probably traveled to and from his mansion on North Sweetser and his penthouses in the Eastern Columbia building in downtown Los Angeles. As you likely know, LA has a lot of roads that go in all sorts of directions because of all the hills and the mountains, but wherever possible, it's also got a bit of a grid system. And grid systems are great. They make it a bit easier to get around, and they also offer many different options to get to the same place. As we all know, Johnny Depp currently owns 5 houses on North Sweetser Avenue. And even though he no longer owns them, he used to own 5 really beautiful penthouses in a historic downtown building. So, let's get rolling. Now, I assume that the days of Johnny Depp getting into a car and driving himself anywhere are probably long behind him, at least in Los Angeles. So he probably has a driver that takes him to where he wants to go. So just for fun, let's assume that Johnny Depp is sitting in his mansion and he decides that he wants to go to one of his penthouses and he actually grabs the car keys and gets into one of his cars on his own. And if that were ever the case, here is one of the many different scenarios that would have happened next. He would have driven up his driveway, he would have gone through these security gates, he would have turned right, and he would head down North Sweetser and then stop at Sunset Boulevard. And then he would drive across Sunset Boulevard. Now, if he would have turned left, he would very quickly see the Chateau Marmont. If he would have turned right, he would very quickly see the Sunset Tower and the Comedy Store and Whiskey A Go-Go and the Roxy Theater and other well-known places. But at this point, he's just driving down North Sweetser Avenue. And he would then pass Fountain Avenue, and then he would pass Santa Monica Boulevard. And if he kept going, he would have passed the apartment complex where actress Rebecca Schaeffer was murdered by a deranged fan. And that was a sad day. North Sweetser Avenue was a really nice tree-lined street with lots of very small apartment buildings. And Johnny Depp would keep on driving until he hit Melrose Avenue. And at that point, he would turn left. And as you likely know, Melrose Avenue is a shopping, dining, and entertainment destination in Los Angeles. It starts at Santa Monica Boulevard at the border between Beverly Hills and West Hollywood. Now check this out. It was paved in 1909, and Melrose Avenue's namesake comes from the Massachusetts town of the same name. Now what you might not know is that one of the most famous landmarks located on Melrose Avenue is the entry to Paramount Pictures. And Johnny Depp would keep on driving, and then he would turn right on Crescent Heights Avenue. And then he would drive for a little bit, and then he could turn left on West 3rd Street. And then he would drive a little bit more, and then he would turn on South Detroit Street. And then he would turn on Wilshire Boulevard. Now, you've probably heard of Wilshire Boulevard. It's a main drag in LA, and it's filled with a lot of post-1950s skyscrapers. And its history is kind of cool. In 1895, Henry Gaylord Wilshire, he was a developer and a publisher and a kind of a revolutionary. He made and lost fortunes in real estate and farming and gold mining. He donated land to the city of Los Angeles to build this boulevard. His conditions for the donation of the 120-foot wide by 1,200 long strip of land along the 35 acres of barley fields that he was subdividing were that it be named after him, and that railroad lines and commercial or industrial trucking would be banned. And those seemed like fair conditions, and so the city accepted, and the road first appeared on a map under its present name in 1895. And then Johnny would have just kept on driving, and then it would have brought him to downtown. And then he would turn right on Grand Avenue, and he would drive for a few blocks. And then he would turn left on West 9th Street, and he would drive past South Olive Street, and then South Hill Street, and then on the next street is South Broadway. And the Eastern Columbia Lofts is located on the corner of West 9th Street and South Broadway. And so that's one of the many ways that Johnny Depp could get to his penthouse apartments from his mansion. Now, like I said, whether or not he ever drove himself, I don't know. But if he did, there was a parking lot behind the building, but chances are he had a driver to take him there and back. Or a combination of all those different things. Now you may think it's kind of unusual to have another home, or homes, just a half hour away. But the lifestyle of living in a downtown apartment is totally different than living in an isolated mansion. Not to mention, this sort of lifestyle really isn't that unusual for wealthy people. Now, as far as Southern California, I know some people that have homes in and around Beverly Hills and Hollywood and different areas like that, but they also have homes in Malibu, which isn't too far away geographically, but it's a whole different world in Malibu, especially because of the easy access to the beach. And so even though he had a mansion in West Hollywood, it's probably not too weird to think that Johnny Depp also liked the idea of having a penthouse in downtown where he would have easy access to all kinds of entertainment and also have a place where many of his friends can come and go. And not to mention, it was a really good investment. And so this concludes this micro lesson about how Johnny Depp went back and forth. If you have any thoughts about this subject matter, please put those in the comments below and share what's on your mind. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.